everybody, and welcome back to Weekend Rants. I am Cole Marcus Cash. I am unavailable to appear on camera for a little while as I am recovering from a facial surgery. But this is my top 5, or I guess you can say my bottom 5 pet peeves for televised professional wrestling between AEW and WWE for the week between December 6th and December 12th. At number 5, Brooke Yim 99. Dana Brooke's been around for a while, and when she first showed up, yeah, she had a lot of promise. That promise never really translated to anything. She hasn't really improved nearly at all in the ring. She hasn't really improved her acting whatsoever either. And we have new call-up Mia Yim, or Reckoning, which is a name they may or may not be sticking with. It seems like they're already trying to kick her out of Retribution, so I'd imagine that name of Reckoning is not going to be sticking around very long. She's probably going to end up as Mia Yim again soon, if she indeed stays on the main roster at all in the first place. But either way, I understand you want to, for lack of a better term, flunk Mia Yim out of Retribution. That she has to lose her way out of this group. Because if she's winning, there's no reason for her to be kicked out. I get that. Regardless, though, she still has too much promise to be losing to Dana Brooke, of all people. If Mia Yim was losing constant matches against Asuka, or Shayna Baszler, or even Nia Jax, you can understand and explain it away. But when she's losing to anybody else, it's head scratching. But when she's losing to who would otherwise be, for lack of a better term, the jobber of the women's division on that show, that's troublesome. And that alone is going to get you the top 5th place on my biggest gripes of the week. At number 4, and you will never let us forget the name. Ooh, Dustin Rhodes. You're killing me. I understand your opponent this week is 10. And he hasn't exactly been treated like he's going to be anything whatsoever in the company. I get that. Regardless, Preston Vance is an imposing figure enough, but also significantly younger. I want to say literally half your age. And even then, I might be aging Preston Vance a little bit. Dustin Rhodes should not be physically equal to, much less superior than, these up-and-coming members of the AEW roster. Especially ones that are not of the pushover appearance. If you want to tell me Dustin Rhodes beats Marco Stunt, absolutely he does. Dustin Rhodes beats Joey Janela, yeah, I could see that too. He beats Sonny Kiss, I could see that as well. Dustin Rhodes defeats Alex Reynolds, if we want to use Dark Order members as an example. I can see that. But that list is very short at this point, and your more physically imposing member of the Dark Order, aside from the biceps specifically of John Silver, it doesn't make much sense, and I don't think it caters much in a way of any sort of long or medium term planning, except for the fact that his last name is Rhodes, and we got to make him look good for some reason that I can't comprehend. Because even if the arenas were full, Dustin Rhodes is not putting butts in seats. Cody Rhodes, to an extent, sure. Cody Rhodes can be their Triple H and beat everybody. Perfectly fine. He's got some name value and some talent to him. Dustin Rhodes is several trips over the hill that it's incomprehensible why they are damaging and mortgaging their future to put this guy over. It doesn't make sense. It hasn't made sense in the past year. It will not make sense as long as they keep doing this. That's going to get you number 4. At number 3, Cartoon Grimes, Life on the Moon. I used to really like Cameron Grimes. He was over the top for my taste. He was very southern and country for my taste. But it also kind of worked. He bought into his character 100%, and he was believable, and he had a pretty impressive, surprising finisher that he could put people away with and pick up some pretty big wins. And then he started feuding with Dexter Lumis, and he became a joke. And now that his program with Dexter Lumis seems like it's over, any hope of Cameron Grimes being taken as a serious competitor again still looks like it's outside of the window, because he's going to lose to Tommaso Ciampa. There's going to be shenanigans in that match, and then he's going to try to confront Timothy Thatcher outside the ring, and he's going to be dealt with accordingly in rather quick fashion. Cameron Grimes is jobbing out here, and while at least it's to members of the roster worth a damn, that has some name value and some clout onto the roster spots that they have, and some clout to their roster spots that they have, it's pretty damning to his own spot. If he's going to become the guy who keeps losing to the other similar level guys, Cameron Grimes, so quickly into his NXT career, risks himself becoming the NXT Dolph Ziggler. While that can make for a great career, that's not going to get you very many things. That's not going to get you very many accolades or any serious consideration to the main event. Mind you, we're not even talking about the main roster yet. You're at risk of branding yourself as the gatekeeper to the stars on the third brand. At number 2, Matthew Jackson and the Tales of the Bionic Foot. I don't hate the Young Bucks, but they're going to find themselves on these kind of lists a lot because they're outrageously ridiculous. In particular, Matthew Jackson. Normally, his lack of promo skills are enough to garner him a position, or at least consideration, for this list. In fact, it's one of the things that made me decide to do these kind of rundowns in the first place. His injury that they're going to keep revisiting, It's going to be a continuous angle, apparently, in regards to his foot or ankle or knee. But his leg in general is an issue, apparently. But he can still fly around the ring. He could still stand outside the ring and catch people diving from the inside of the ring on top of him at the outside of the ring perfectly fine. And most importantly, and most preposterously, he can finish off matches and earn victories with a super kick specifically delivered with his injured foot. Never mind the fact that this is probably 10 to 15 super kicks deep into the match in the first place, but the last one thus far, and in at least 2 or 3 different matches since they started running this angle, the injured foot super kick is just all the more devastating. You can suspend disbelief to an extent when a wrestler can't sell an injury every single second of a match because he still has other things to do. It shouldn't be that way, but I think we've all grown to kind of accept that. It even borders on hilarious when they're selling an injury, they do something ridiculous, and then they go back to selling the injury as soon as they're done with said ridiculousness. But for your injury to somehow be morphed into some subconscious advantage is unexplainable. It's outraging, it's preposterous, it's irritating, it's a lot of other words that are synonyms to what I've already said that I can't even put into words because of how upsetting it is. Words don't do justice how bad the lack of logic is with the Young Bucks, but especially Matt Jackson, and especially in regards to his bionic foot. He gets, well, not he, but his foot gets number 2 this week. And at number 1, we have a heart without a cause. It doesn't much seem like a decision that had any thought put to it whatsoever for any of the ladies involved. But again, Natalya going from defeating Bayley by submission to losing a tag team match against the Riot Squad this week. It's the most egregious thing that's happened on television, in my opinion, for this week. But leave your comments down below on what you agree with, what you disagree with, or maybe if you agree with the list but you would have things in a different order. Leave your thoughts down below. I'd like to see what you guys say or have in mind. And until next time, I'm Cole Marcus Cash. I'll see you on the next edition of Weekend Rants. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you around.